What's going on, reefers? Blaine here. In today's video, we are back with the 50-gallon display in the retail store, and we're going to be doing a well-deserved update. It's been about 2 months since we've last talked about this tank, and as you can see, a ton of things have changed. We've added a bunch of new fish, we've added a bunch of new corals, and there's also some new additions on the rockwork. We're going to go ahead and start from the top and work our way down, and we'll start out with our air plants. We added a ton of air plants onto the tank to really kind of fill the entire rockscape that's up top. As you can see too, the mangrove's doing really well. We're excited to see some progress from the mangrove. We're starting to utilize the bonsai wire to really force its way out to start getting that canopy starting to develop. Obviously, we only have a few set of leaves, but I'm thinking about here soon, right up top here, once we get these next 2 sets to kind of come out, I want to do some snipping and I want to start initiate some branch growth to happen. So I'm really excited about what's going on with the mangrove. It's nice and firm on the trunk, so we know it's doing well, and the air plants are fairly happy. I didn't talk about it with you guys yet, but we did utilize drilling into the rockwork and doing some small little air plants glued onto some PVC rods to be able to pull them out, and then we can soak them in their own separate bucket, keeping all the water away from dripping down into the tank. So another little hack that Kevin ended up doing for this rockscape, so I wanted to point that out to everyone at home. We'll start getting into what's happening with the fish in the tank though. Previously, we had added in a geometric hawkfish, we had a basslet we added in, and we also added in a target mandarin. After that, we decided we needed some more fish in this tank, and we definitely wanted to get some herbivores into the system, get some cleaners, a little bit of working fish, so we added in a flamefin to mini, and we've also got a purple tang in this tank. We know that the purple tang will probably outgrow this system fairly soon, so we'll be rotating it out as it gets too big, but for now, it's the perfect size for the tank, and I think the color contrast of the purple tang is really nice to see against the rockwork. We've also added in 2 choice storm clownfish from Pro Aquatics. These nice black and white storm clowns are unbelievable. I'm a huge fan of storm clownfish. I think they look like tiny little cows just swimming around the tank, so big fan of these guys. I'm really glad we ended up adding a pair into the system. I think every tank isn't complete without clownfish. I know a lot of people say clownfish can be a little too territorial. Sometimes clown can be a little too mean, but in my opinion, I think a reef tank's not complete without having a clownfish pair in there. When we're looking at the corals in the tank, we've gone all over the place in the farm and have picked out a ton of choice pieces. We can start off from the left and start working our way to the right side of the tank. On the top left of the rockwork, we've added in a ton of zoas, looking really cool. My favorite out of the entire group has got to be the fairy farts, an amazing selection of zoas on some of the rocks. Up in the top, we've got some utter chaoses as well. And then also we mixed in a Holy Grail Micromusa. I think Kevin wanted to mix in a lot of choice pieces in this tank. We've got a glitter gani, we've got some really nice Alvia poras, we've got some cool Bernard poras, but overall, Kevin definitely wanted to make sure we picked out some really choice pieces from the farm. Down below, we have some nice frozen apples. Like I mentioned, a glitter gani. We've got a really nice red gani that's filling in the space pretty quickly. We've got some blue raven blastos. There's a nice little acan garden that's developed. And we've even mixed in a TSA Grandmaster gani, one of my favorite ganis that we have in the entire farm. We've got some nice choice chalices as well. We've got the awesome Cosmic Candy Bounce chalice. We've got some nice Raja and pajamas going on. And then on the sand bed, you're gonna see kind of littered throughout some nice plate corals. Kevin has been doing a huge push in aquaculture when it comes to plate corals. We've been doing a lot of work with the fungias, the diacerises, trying to get more aquaculture venues happening for these plate corals. And I have to say the green one in the front, the orange, and then the Diablo diaceris are kind of to die for. I'm really huge fans of those. I haven't ever kept plate corals in any of my tanks previously, but now that I've been at Top Shelf Aquatics, there's one in the 250. Actually, there's a few in the 250, and we've got a few here in the 50-gallon retail store display tank. And I think they're really working out really nicely for the sand bed. Directly right next to me, I have some amazing mushrooms in this tank. We've got a nice Candy Crush. We've also got some red and yellow Eclectus mushrooms. There's a ton of really nice mushrooms in the tank. It kind of mixed intermittently. There's a lot of different corals, whether it be the Bowerbanky, the Space Invader, this green acan here in the back. And then tucked in up top, we have a couple rainbow chalices that are looking really nice. I did want to point out too, Hiding underneath some of the shaded area, we ended up picking out some dendros to put in the tank. I told Kevin I think this was the perfect sample system to be able to try hanging some dendros, some sun corals from the top and try to utilize those shaded spaces. With a super dynamic scape like this, you're gonna have a lot of different interesting situations when it comes to lighting, with all the different arms, how the rock's working up top, and then once the mangrove develops, it's gonna be interesting to see how we can continue to light up the tank and continue to make all the corals happy. But there's gonna be a lot of spaces we utilize some of the lower light corals like Favia, chalices, some of the MPS corals we have as well. There's gonna be a wide range of what we're gonna have to work around when it comes to filling in more corals in this tank. Tucked away in the back left, we have some really cool pectinias. I've been a fan of a lot of these pectinias we have here in the farm, whether it be the rainbow ones, the Space Invader pectinia. There's a ton of really cool pectinias that we carry at Top Shelf Aquatics, and I want to let you guys know if there's anything you're seeing in this tank right now, be sure to drop a comment down below. I can help you figure it out or find it on the website. And definitely be sure to head over to the website and snag up any of these coral frags you guys want to add into your reef tanks at home. As for maintenance on this tank, we're doing a weekly water change here in the store. And as you guys can see with the waterfall going on, we have to get in there every once in a while with a toothbrush and be the herbivore. This is something Jake Adams used to preach in a lot of his videos previously. Sometimes your cleanup crew, your fish, all the workers inside your tank can't do all of the work when it comes to some of those harder to get to nuisance algae, and sometimes they're just a little bit too much that they can't work its way down. So I like to say it time and time again, be the herbivore, get in your tank, do the scrubbing, do the cleaning yourself, and then the cleanup crew can come through afterwards and pick up all the pieces as well. In the studio, when it comes to the 15-gallon display tank, we are spraying all of the air plants and the mangrove as well with fresh water coming out of one of the freshwater tanks at Kevin's home. So really nice to be able to utilize that water coming out of a freshwater system that has some nice nutrients as well to be able to feed these plants and the mangrove too. Every time we do these tank tours, I try to mention also what the reefer is feeding their tank. When it comes to the tank we're feeding here, we're feeding the same exact food mixture that we're utilizing in the store. So a mixture of PE mysis, pack pods, ROE. There's gonna be a lot of different things we're utilizing to feed the system, but also you guys can see up top we have a nori clip as well. So every once in a while we're gonna be making sure we add in some green seaweed, maybe even that top shelf green seaweed, the Reef Genetics. If you haven't tried it, go ahead and try it out for yourself. And we're feeding that Reef Genetics green seaweed to the purple tang and the flamefin tamini, and they love to be able to get any kind of extra snack throughout the day. For the parameters on this tank, we're trying to maintain the same parameters we're keeping over in the farm, and basically for all of our coral flats here in the retail store, we're ranging anywhere from 10 to 15 on nitrates. Our alkalinity is going to be sitting right at 8.9. Calcium, we're going to be at about 420. Magnesium is going to be at about 1300. And also when we're talking about those phosphates, we're trying to stay in a range from about 0.08 to about 0.12. We like to kind of flirt with those ranges right about there. 0.15 is going to be our danger zone of a little bit too high, so maybe adding in some GFO to try to drop that down. If we're at anywhere for about 0.03 phosphates, we're going to be adding in some reefroids. We're going to be adding in more food to try and juice up those phosphates for the tank itself. Overall though, I just wanted to do a quick update of what's been going on with the tank. It's been a couple months and I like to give you guys, an update if you guys aren't local and able to come down to the retail store and see what's happening with the display tank. We're lucky enough, just like I am in the studio, if anytime we want to grab corals and fill out a system, we're lucky enough to head to the farm and be able to grab whatever corals we need to be able to fill this tank out. I am interested to hear though from every single one of you guys down in the comments, what corals do you think we should add into the system? What inverts, maybe some unique ones, and also maybe one or two more fish that we should add into this tank. I always love to hear the comments down below. You guys, we appreciate you guys engaging and letting us know what you guys think should be in the TSA displays. If you guys have enjoyed this update of what's been going on with the TSA 50-gallon display tank, be sure to leave a like down below. I had a lot of fun going over this system, talking about what's been going on, and Kevin also with his masterpiece of Rockscape, how he's worked out the flow in this tank. It's an awesome system, and I really can't wait for it to develop and mature over time. I want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out with me throughout this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications so you don't miss out on any future uploads.